Lily's hitting shots, Porter's hitting shots, putbacks, especially down the stretch as they pulled close.
Yeah, obviously situational defense. I thought we had some really good possessions of it, and I thought they hit some really tough shots. And then you obviously know, like 18 going in the fourth quarter, you can't possibly think that it's not going to be a close game. But it was good to be in one of those games. I haven't been in one in a little while there, and just a good learning experience. But I thought from start to finish, our defensive intensity was there, and our offensive connectivity was there too. And I thought that kind of kept us, throughout the game.
You talk about being able to get out of those spaces where the lead's diminishing. Maybe it's a few bad possessions stack up. How do you see them kind of get out of it tonight, especially when the lead got down to 3?
Yeah, I thought it really didn't change their body language. They didn't change their mindset. I thought we just kind of moved on to the next play. I thought JB's block when it was I think it was 6 or 4 or something like that with 20 seconds left. We just kept making plays, and you just can't expect a team like that to go away. You can obviously always pinpoint again those 5-10 possessions that we can execute, but I like the poise. I like the intentionality that that we tried to play with on both ends of the floor, and it's just a good opportunity for us to clean up our execution.
Did you, when they got it down to 3, did you like how Jason was able to attack and get in the lane and get both the free throws and then that layup to get back to 7?
Yeah, so the guys did a great job organizing the spacing versus his zone, which forced them to got distorted a little bit. And I thought his poise and his decision making down the stretch, his ability to just be patient through the zone. Obviously, they're playing it to throw us off rhythm and get to different things. And I thought we got some good looks against the zone. I thought there were a couple plays that didn't go our way, but I thought Jason's poise down the stretch of getting to the free throw line, getting to the spot that he wanted, was a key to the game. And that, and then our defensive intensity as a team.
Gary?
Joe, what exactly did their zone do, and did it catch you off guard? What did they do specifically?
Obviously, just slowed you down a little bit, get into your action a little bit different. They went to it at the beginning of the fourth when we had a different lineup in there, and just getting the spacing right, getting the reads right out of it, and obviously against zone, we work to try to get advantages early in the shot clock, and the zone forces you to kind of slow down a little bit there. So once we were able to kind of distort the spacing and get to what we wanted, Jason with the ball at the top and making plays, we were able to get to some things there. But it also magnifies the shots that you don't make, right? Like I think Peyton got a really good look. Jaylen had a really good slot drive. He just lost the ball. D. White had a great look. So it just magnifies some of the shots that you miss where it's like, oh, they're missing because they're playing zone. If you miss those one against man, it's like, oh, that was good offense. But if you miss them against zone, it's like, the zone messed them up. So it's like that. You just got to work through a couple of the possessions that we had. I thought the guys did that.
How do you get the guys to just react quicker to the zone and not go, oh, snap, what do we do?
We hadn't seen it in some time. Hadn't seen it in some time, and then they started it with our lineup that, we hadn't seen zone there. So it's just a matter of just continuing to communicate, go through the options that we have immediately after the game. The guys were like, we had this, and this. So it's just getting to that quicker,
Jared and Jack.
Talk a lot about targeting cross matches, but on some of those big buckets that like JT had at the end there, you had Derek or some guard pulling Lillard into the rim protection spot. How important is it for your spacing that it's not only trying to find someone to attack on the perimeter, but trying to get the least advantage rim protector out there also?
Just distorting the spacing is important and getting the matchup that you want and getting to the spacing where either Jaylen or Jason or the guys can make the right read when they drive the ball, and you're obviously trying to eliminate rim protection, so that's important.
Joe, feels like we ask you all the time now, but Jaylen Brown just hounding Lillard up and down the floor the entire night. Lillard finished with an efficient night, but tonight where they're missing their other top scorer while also being a primary offensive option, what does that say about just his motor, just what he brings to the table, his willingness to take on that role?
Yeah, it's not being defined by one thing and saying, hey, if we want to win this, I have to do this. And I thought Jaylen's mindset and intensity to start the game is kind of what kept us connected throughout the game. And, he set the tone as far as our defensive intensity for the game, and the rest of the guys picked up on that. I thought Al had some tremendous closeouts. Derek, I thought Jason's blocks, but when our guys are not just defined by one thing, and we understand that, in order to win, you have to play well-connected basketball, and it starts with intensity and physicality. Jaylen's done a great job of that.
And then, again, it feels like we ask you, but is this something he's asking for now, or is it just kind of assumed that, Jaylen's going to take on
it's not necessarily asking, he's just taking ownership of it. This is what I want to do, this is how I can impact the game. And he's done a great job living in that space of I'm not just going to be defined by one thing, I'm just going to impact the game. So he's taken full ownership of it, and that's been a great form of leadership for us.
No, then Gary.
Peyton Pritchard in the first half got really fired up a couple of times there and then just had another really solid game. Are you seeing anything different out of him as far as just the way that he's able to affect the floor in all different ways?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's just more increased opportunities allowing him to shine?
No, I think it's that, right? I think just finding ways to impact the game. So everybody always had talked about his, shooting, but I think this year in particular, he's been impacted by his rebounding. He's been impacted by his defense, his pace, getting down the floor and getting us into our actions quick in the shot clock, getting into the paint and finding guys. He's just becoming a really well-rounded player who knows he can have a positive impact on the game in many different ways, and it's a huge asset for us.
And then do you see a ceiling for him as far as what he's capable of? Right now, I know this is last year he wasn't really in the rotation. This year he is. Do you see him, going down the road?
He's a pretty complete player from the standpoint of I trust his defense. He can defend at a high level. He can rebound defensively and offensively. He can push the pace, can shoot. So he's just continuing to get better and better all the time, and that's just the player that he is.
Joe, Portis is a guy. He had 25 in the first half against Phoenix. He can just get hot. What's the decision like when a guy just suddenly gets hot like that? Like your defense, do you not try to overreact? Do you have to say to yourself, okay, this guy is on, we've got to send someone at him? What's that?
Well, you don't want to necessarily send someone at him, but it's definitely that situational defense of okay, there's 5 minutes left. It's a 3 or 4 possession game. You got to kind of make the adjustment to where airspace closeouts are important on everybody right now. And he hit a couple tough ones, but I think it's just that situational defense, just understanding the awareness in the game, and it's this is the time and score where you can't give these particular things up. So it's not necessarily about sending people at him as much as it's the individual closeout to get into the guys' bodies and kind of have an understanding of eliminating certain shots and stuff like that.
This is a team you might see in May. What can you take from this game, and what do you think? It seems like they probably feel pretty good about their performance considering they were missing Giannis.
We were missing Sam and Drew, so nothing. Can't take anything from the game.
Nothing at all?
You can, but, I don't want to overthink. Nothing's guaranteed in life. We may see them. They may see us. We may not. You never know what's going to happen. So, I know both teams are developing an identity. There's obviously a DNA there that both teams have, but you don't want to overthink things, and you don't take anything for granted,
Final question, Joe, you subbed Peyton in for Kristaps, key defensive possession late. What'd you like about that lineup or that look?
Just switching in speed, yeah.
And you're concerned about, I guess, teams attacking Kristaps and pick and roll late like that, especially with a guard like Damian Lillard?
No, I'm not concerned at all. I think at his best, Kristaps is a high-level, versatile defender and has the capability of guarding different matchups, guarding multiple positions, guarding multiple actions. So I'm not concerned with it at all. But at the same time, we have a group of versatile guys to where we can do what makes the absolute most sense in a particular time. And so it's just balancing those two things,
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.